What up, YouTube? Team Movies here. Since she's in Jane Silent Bob Reboot, and since she's also in Zombieland 2, which both comes out this week, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Rosario Dawson movies. Because Rosario Dawson, that woman's just awesome. She's not only is she very attractive, but she's also a pretty decent actress. Like, she's done, I quite liked her as a Terra Temple in the Marvel TV shows. I thought she was pretty great in that. She's been in some pretty good films as well. She's been in some not so good films either, but hey, that's every actress, huh? But with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Rosario Dawson movies. Alright. Coming in at number 10 is going to be a film called Give Me Shelter. Now, I think this is probably one of Rosario Dawson's best performances she had in recent years. Like, actually, if I was choosing my 10 favorite Dawson performances, this would probably be a little higher. Because she was great in this. Like, she sort of reminds me of Precious' mother in the Precious movie, except she's not as terrifying as Monique was. And so in it, you got Vanessa Hudgens, who I don't really shine was great in this. She plays this pregnant teenager named Agnes Apple Bailey, who ends up pretty much trying to uncover the struggles for survival, and she ends up pretty much living on the streets, and her mother, played by Dawson, is also like a addict and prostitute. So she decides to run away from her mother so she could live a better life. And she finds herself to be homeless, but then she ends up going into this shelter and all, and she ends up meeting a few other folks. Give Me Shelter is a really decent little film. You also had James Earl Jones was also in this. You even had Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser is pretty good in this show. Vanessa Hudgens really shined. She really looked very different in this show. I mean, a very different Vanessa Hudgens performance, if you will. But if you guys never seen Give Me Shelter yet, it's a really decent little flick. Alright, coming in at number 9, it is 25th Hour. Now, the film is directed by Spike Lee, and it stars a really impressive cast that includes the likes of Ed Norton, Phil Seymour Hoffman, and in it, you got Dawson, who plays the girlfriend of Monty Rogan, played by Norton, and Dawson's character named Natare Rivera, who's says the daughter of Ed Norton's character, who's a convicted New York drug dealer who has pretty much has 25 hours left before being reporting before ending up going to prison and all. So to start serving a 7-year prison sentence. And I thought Dawson is very convincing as her role, and her chemistry with Ed Norton's pretty great. Late great Philip Seymour Hoffman's terrific in this. Really good little film. If you guys haven't seen Spike Lee's 25th Hour, give it a go. It's a pretty decent one. Alright. Coming in at number 8 is going to be The Rundown. Now, The Rundown stars Dwayne Johnson, who, of course, back then went by the name The Rock. And so, here, you got, The Rock plays, this guy named Beck, who's, this, obnoxious, he really wants to retire from his dangerous work and open up a small restaurant. And so, you got William Lucking's character named Walker, who pretty much wants to hire Beck to pretty much team up with his son named Travis, played by Sean William Scott, to look for a legendary item named El Gato de Ballo.
That's right.
And so they end up teaming up with Rosario Dawson's character named Mariana, who pretty much offers Travis to use her boat in exchange to cut off the assassin. And you got Christopher Walker, that plays the I guess you say the bad guy, if you will, here. You also had it's directed by Peter Berg, who I know did a good job with this. You also had I think Luis Guzman was also in this too. The Rundown is a really great one. It's another movie that The Rock started that ended up him that pretty much had him go in the jungle. I mean, we know how much The Rock loves the jungle, and yeah, the rundown is pretty fun. It's cool action flick. I mean, it's one of like The Rock's earliest roles, and I know he was great in this. And like his chemistry with Sean William Scott's great. Like, if you guys ever really seen the rundown yet, give it a shot. It's a really good one. All right, coming in at number 7, it is Chris Rock's directing film Top Five. Now, in it, you've got Chris Rock who pretty much like plays this, like this New York City comic, who pretty much wants to like remake his image as a serious actor, and so like he ends up spending like throughout the whole film he ends up spending with this report for the Times named Chelsea, played by Rosario Dawson, and they pretty much like spend it like they end up having like a romance with one another, and she ends up wanting to like interview him and stuff like that. Top Five is a really funny flick. It's also has lots of heart in it too. Like I just said, my 10 favorite movie like stand-up comedy movies, and Top Five was also in that list as well. I mean, it's really great, and it also had Gabrielle Union was also in this. You also had Kevin Hart, cameos by Adam Sandler, Jerry Seinfeld, Whoopi Goldberg. Some really great actors appeared in this. I mean, if you guys ever seen Top Five, it's a really great one. And Chris Rock and Rosario Dawson's chemistry definitely definitely was one of the highlights of the movie. Like, it literally felt their chemistry, like their storyline seriously felt like the Before trilogies in a way. Like, I really got like a Before trilogy vibe from this film, but anyway. All right. Coming in at number 6, it is Clerks 2. Now, I just did my 10 favorite Kevin Smith movies, and Clerks 2 was in that list. I mean, Clerks 2 is great. Kevin Smith did a pretty great job at directing this. I mean, crazy to believe that the film actually got released like years after the first Clerks got released. I mean, first Clerks got released in 1995, and this ended up getting released in 2006. I mean, interesting timeline. Like, and God knows when Clerks 3 is ever going to come out. Anyway, but in this, the film actually takes place like 11 years after the events of the first film, and you got Dante played by Brian O'Halloran, who ends up opening the quick stop convenience store to like find he also ends up finding that is also on fire. So Jeff Anderson's character named Randall also has like left a coffee pot on after the closed night. That's kind of why the fire began. So he decides to like open up a pretty much like this movie's fast food restaurant, and so like he also ends up having like a thing for the for the manager played by Dawson's character, and Dawson's character is really like she's really feisty here, and I really quite like the Rosario Dawson character. Like she's seriously someone you probably wouldn't mind working for, you know.
It's a bus stopping here, no more. Still 37.
Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Clerks 2 is a really great one, and I'm I still hope we get Clerks 3, but I don't know. Kevin Smith says one thing, but anyway. All right. All right, coming in at number 5, it is Men in Black 2. Now, Rosario Dawson and Will Smith had worked together a couple times, and they also did that 7 Pounds movie, which isn't all that great. But Rosario Dawson was great in this one. Like you got Will Smith's character Agent J, who has like become the highest ranking member of the Men in Black, and so you got Agent K, played by Tom Lee Jones, who had like his memory wiped clean, and now lives like a simple, pretty much a simple but contented life as a mailman. So you got like this ugly head named Charlena, played by Laura Flynn Boy, who is like this shape shifting Clodine Aylin. And so Jay also, and like the person that Rosario Dawson plays is like this waitress named Laura, who pretty much Jay ends up smell with, and so like she's pretty much like this attractive waitress who's pretty much is like this unwitnessed witness to like an alien attack. So she has to pretty much has to like team up with Jay in case to this pretty much to discover like find out about the alien attack. And you also got the late Rip Dorn is also in this. You had David Cross, Patrick Warburton. I mean, I still probably prefer the first Man in Black over the sequel, but Man in Black 2 was still pretty decent. It's as funny as the original. Man in Black 2 is also good too, but Dawson was in that one. And I really thought that Rosario Dawson played her role really well. And if you guys never seen Man in Black 2, it's another Dawson movie worth giving a shot. Alright. Coming in at number 4, it is Death Proof, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Now it's where like this like stuntman is like ends up targeting these three females on like a road trip and Kurt Russell actually plays stuntman Mike. Kurt Russell was great in this. He also had Mary Elizabeth Winstead was great. Zoe Bell, like lots of Robert Rodriguez's regulars in this. And Rosario Dawson, plays a character named Abernathy, who's pretty much like this kind of a whiner who like goes into the movie, but eventually she ends up turning a bona fide she ends up becoming like a bona fide tough woman throughout, and she also ends up like refusing to get out of the car, but like insists that she also ends up being allowed to join the other two and tracking down stuntman Mike. I mean, Death Proof it's a really fun one. It's really entertaining, very violent. I mean, I do love me these violent stuff. And Rosario Dawson was a badass in this. I mean, if you guys never seen Death Proof, give it a go. And I can't remember if she was in Grindhouse or. Yeah, I think she was only just in Death Proof, and that's really it. But Death Proof is a really great one. All right. Coming in at number 3, it's a very controversial film. And number 3, I'm going with Kids. I mean, it's directed by Larry Clark, who's a very weird director. It's also scripted by Spring Breaker director Harmony Korine. And this is one of the most controversial films you'll ever want to see. The film, of course, takes place in like a new in New York State, and you got Dawson, who was actually only 15 at the time when she was cast as the character Ruby, who was like one of the teenagers that's popular. That's pretty much populate in this like controversial take on American teenagers, which also includes like lots of risque stuff in this. And this was actually Rosario Dawson's first like debut film, and she was magnificent. It's like for a very newcomer actress, she really nailed her part well, and her like chemistry with the other characters was all great. You also had Chloe Sevigny was also in the show, so there's that as well. Larry Clark did a pretty great job at like showcasing what like real teens go through and stuff like that. It's like I said, it's a controversial film, but it's actually not that bad either. So if you guys never seen Kids, give it a go. But yeah, this is probably a movie that really won't get made today either. So I mean, not to mention it was also shot pretty well too. Like it was like shot at like this pretty much in like a documentary style feature, and it's a pretty good one. So if you guys never seen Kids, give it a go. Coming in at number 2, it is Sin City. Now, this is another Robert Rodriguez directed film. And in Sin City, you got Rosario Dawson plays this character named Gail, who's like this fury brought to life straight from mythology, and you got Clive Owen, who actually plays her on and off again a lover named Dwight, who also and Gail also acts like a sort of a pimp to a group of these young prostitutes. One of which is named is like this young woman named Becky, played by Alexis Bledel, who ends up selling her out, and Rosario Dawson was a major badass in this. I thought she was really great. She was very fierce. Her on-screen romance with Clive Owen was great. Robert Rodriguez did a great job as director. I mean, Sin City is based on a graphic novel by Frank Miller. It's shot in full-blown black and white. Sin City is just awesome. And with a cast that includes people like Jessica Alba, Mickey Rourke, Elijah Wood, Brittany Murphy, that's what's in this. Oh yeah, Michael Clark Duncan was also in this. What a great cast. I mean, if you guys never seen Sin City by now, give Sin City a go. It's a really magnificent film. And the sequel's not bad either, by the way. And Dawson actually reprised her in the sequel, so... Alright. Now, my number one favorite Rosario Dawson movie of all time is going to the big screen adaptation of the musical Rent. Now, Rent, I just love Rent. It's a really great film. You know, it's directed by Chris Columbus, who also gave us stuff like Home Alone, the first two Harry Potter films. He also did Pixels. I mean, I quite like Chris Columbus as director. And here, the film, of course, features a really great cast that includes Adina Menzel was in this, Anthony Rapp, you had Tay Diggs, Jesse Martin, and in it, Rosario Dawson plays the girl named Mimi Marquez, who plays this woman who is also who is also having pregnant as well. So she has to try to find a way to pretty much try to find a way to pay her rent and all of that, and to make a great environment for her baby and all. And the film also pretty much takes place during the effects of the AIDS epidemic and all. And with Sarah Dawson, who knew that woman could sing? She really sang great in this. I thought she really played her part well. She's what a voice on that woman. I mean, crazy that she never done another musical since. I mean, actually did another musical. I can't remember. I gotta double check that. But yeah, Dawson was really magnificent in this, and Rent is really good. It's been a while since I've seen the Rent movie too. I gotta rewatch this film. It's been forever since I've seen it. But Rent is still a really magnificent film. And if you guys haven't seen the Rent movie, give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. Alright. That's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Gimme Shelter. 9, 25th Hour. 8, The Rundown. 7, Top 5. 6, Clerks 2. 5, Men in Black 2. 4, Death Proof. 3, Kids. 2, Sin City. 1, Rent. Now, there's lots of other ones I probably could have added. Alexander is not that bad of a film. I know lots of people poo-poo on that. It's not all that bad. Let's see. Zookeeper. I quite like the Zookeeper movie with Kevin James in it. That's not all that bad. She was also in that movie, Trance. I mean, her part is probably the best part of the movie. I'm not going to go into any details about her part, but if you guys seen Trance, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she was also in that horrible Katherine Heigl movie, Unforgettable. She was in Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. That was actually pretty good. He Got Game, which also had Denzel in it. She was also in the Lego Batman movie, which I quite loved. That Ryan Reynolds movie, Captive. She was also in Josie and the Pussycats, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. She was in that horrible Eddie Murphy film, Adventures of Pluto Nash. She was in the film called Descent, not to be confused with The Descent. That gets a lot of people confused. Anyway, she was also in that William H. Macy movie, Krista. She was in that Channing Tatum film, 10 Years. Oh, yeah, she was in Grindhouse as well, so. Let's see. She's also voicing Wonder Woman in that Wonder Woman Bloodline film. She's in a few DC anime stuff as well, like Justice League versus Teen Titans, Justice League Dark, Justice League Throne of Atlantis. I mean, wow. And not to mention and also she was in Shattered Glass with Hank Christensen, Light It Up with Usher, Guy Recognizing Your Saints with Robert Downey Jr. Some pretty good stuff. And of course, her best recent roles is playing Claire Tempa in the Netflix Marvel series. She's great. She was great on those. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Rosario Dawson movies? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This here is C-Movie signing off.